It's 2025, and you're tired of feeling like your money controls you instead of you controlling your money. Every month, it's the same story. Paycheck comes in, bills go out, and somehow you end up with nothing left to show for all your hard work. Meanwhile, that emergency fund you've been meaning to start, still at zero. That debt you wanted to pay off, still growing. But what if I told you that taking control of your finances isn't about making more money? It's about having a budget that actually works. Did you know that according to a 2024 survey, 65% of Americans don't know how much money they spent last month? Yet people who follow a structured budget are 40% more likely to feel financially secure, regardless of their income level. The difference isn't magic. It's having a system that works with your life instead of against it. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, so you won't miss out on the valuable insights we share in our future videos. Trust me, these 8 budgeting tips aren't your typical stop buying coffee advice. These are the real strategies that actually change your financial life. Let's start with tip number 1, know your real numbers. Here's the brutal truth. You can't budget what you don't measure. And most people have no idea what their real numbers are. They think they spend about $300 on groceries when they actually spend $500. They estimate $100 on entertainment when it's really $300. This gap between perception and reality is what keeps people broke. So before you create any budget, you need to spend 1 full month just tracking. And I mean tracking everything. That $2.50 morning coffee, that $12 lunch, that $35 impulse Amazon purchase. Download an app like Mint or YNAB, or just use a simple spreadsheet. I don't care what tool you use as long as you use it consistently. Here's what you're looking for. Where is your money actually going? Not where you think it's going or where you wish it was going, but where it's really going. At the end of 30 days, you'll probably be shocked. Most people discover they're spending 30 to 50% more than they thought in at least 2 or 3 categories. This tracking month isn't about judgment or restriction. You're not trying to change anything yet. You're just gathering data. Think of it like going to the doctor. They need to take your vital signs before they can diagnose anything. Your spending patterns are your financial vital signs. Tip number 2, the 4-account system. All right, now that you know your real numbers, let's talk about the single most powerful budgeting structure I've ever used. The 4-account system. Most people try to manage their entire financial life from one checking account, and it's like trying to cook a 5-course meal in one pot. Technically possible, but messy and confusing. Here's how the 4-account system works. You need 4 separate bank accounts, and each one has a specific job. Account number 1 is for fixed expenses, rent, insurance, car payment, anything that's the same amount every month. Account number 2 is for variable expenses, groceries, gas, utilities that fluctuate. Account number 3 is for savings and financial goals. Account number 4 is for fun money, eating out, entertainment, hobbies. When your paycheck comes in, you immediately divide it among these 4 accounts based on percentages you've determined from tracking your spending. Let's say you bring home $4,000 monthly. Maybe $1,800 goes to fixed expenses, $1,000 to variable expenses, $800 to savings, and $400 to fun money. The beauty of this system is that it makes budgeting visual and automatic. When your fun money account hits 0, you know you're done with discretionary spending for the month. No complicated spreadsheets, no guilt, no confusion. The account balance tells you exactly what you can spend. Tip number 3, pay yourself first. Actually first. You've probably heard pay yourself first before, but most people don't actually do it. They pay their bills first, buy what they need, handle all their expenses, and then if there's anything left, they save it. Guess what? There's never anything left. Real pay yourself first means this. The very first transaction after your paycheck deposits is a transfer to your savings account, not the second transaction, not after you pay rent. First, before anything else. This is non-negotiable if you want to build wealth. Here's the minimum you should be aiming for. 20% of your income should go to savings and debt payoff. If you're bringing home $3,000 monthly, that's $600 going straight to savings before you pay a single bill. I know that might sound impossible if you're currently saving nothing, but start with what you can. If 20% feels impossible, start with 10%. If 10% seems crazy, start with 5%. The percentage matters less than the habit of paying yourself first. and automate this transfer. Don't rely on remembering to do it manually. Set it up once as an automatic transfer, and then it happens whether you think about it or not. Remove the decision-making and willpower from the equation. Tip number 4, use the zero-based budget method. Here's a budgeting method that forces you to be intentional with every single dollar. It's called zero-based budgeting, and it's incredibly powerful. The concept is simple. Your income minus your expenses should equal exactly 0 at the end of the month. That doesn't mean spending everything or having 0 in your bank account. It means every dollar has a job before the month begins. If you make $4,000 this month, you assign all $4,000 to specific categories. $1,500 to rent, $500 to groceries, $300 to transportation, $600 to savings, $200 to debt, $400 to entertainment, and so on until you've allocated all $4,000. Why is this powerful? Because it forces you to make conscious decisions about your money instead of just letting it flow wherever. When you do zero-based budgeting, there's no room for, I don't know where that $300 went. Every dollar has a specific purpose, and you can see exactly where your priorities are. At first, this takes time. You'll spend an hour or two setting up your first zero-based budget. But after a few months, it becomes faster because you're just adjusting your previous budget rather than starting from scratch. And the financial clarity you gain is absolutely worth the time investment. Tip number 5, build your buffer. Want to know what kills most budgets? Unexpected expenses that feel like emergencies, but really aren't. The car needs new tires. The hot water heater breaks. You need to buy a wedding gift. These aren't true emergencies. They're irregular but predictable expenses that will definitely happen. You just don't know exactly when. This is where building a buffer changes everything. A buffer is money sitting in your checking account that you don't touch for regular expenses. Ideally, you want 1 full month of expenses as a buffer. So, if your monthly expenses are $3,500, you want to build up an extra $3,500 that just sits there. With a buffer, you're always living on last month's income. You get paid in January, but you're spending money you earned in December. This creates breathing room and eliminates that paycheck-to-paycheck stress. When an irregular expense pops up, you can handle it without derailing your entire budget. Building a buffer takes time. It might take 6 to 12 months depending on your situation, but every $500 you add to your buffer makes your financial life that much calmer. Start with a goal of $1,000, then build toward 1 full month of expenses. Tip number 6, the weekly money date. Here's a habit that will transform your relationship with money. Schedule a weekly money date. Pick the same day and time every week, put it on your calendar, and treat it as seriously as a doctor's appointment. During this 15 to 20 minute session, you review your spending from the past week and plan for the week ahead. Here's what you do during your weekly money date. First, reconcile your accounts. Make sure all your transactions are recorded and categorized. Second, review your spending. Did you stay on track with your budget categories? Where did you overspend or underspend? Third, plan the upcoming week. What expenses do you anticipate? Are there any irregular expenses coming up? This weekly check-in keeps small problems from becoming big problems. If you notice you've overspent on groceries by $50 this week, you can adjust next week's shopping. But if you wait until the end of the month to review your budget, you might discover you overspent by $200, and it's much harder to course correct. Plus, the weekly money date removes the anxiety that comes from avoiding your finances. Instead of that low-level dread about money that follows you around, you have one designated time each week to focus on it, and then you can let it go the rest of the time. Tip number 7, use cash for problem categories. Let me tell you about the power of cash for budgeting. Yes, I know we live in a digital world where everything is cards and apps, but there's something psychological about cash that makes you spend less, and you can use this to your advantage. Here's what you do. Identify your 2 or 3 problem spending categories. For most people, it's things like groceries, eating out, or entertainment. These are categories where you consistently overspend because it's so easy to just swipe a card without thinking. For these problem categories only, switch to cash. Let's say your grocery budget is $400 per month. On the first of the month, withdraw $400 cash and put it in an envelope labeled groceries. When you go shopping, you take cash from that envelope. When the envelope is empty, you're done grocery shopping for the month. The physical act of handing over cash and seeing your envelope get thinner makes spending real in a way that swiping a card doesn't. Studies show people spend 12 to 18% less when using cash versus cards. You can use this psychological trick to help you stay on budget in your trouble categories. You don't need to use cash for everything. That would be impractical. Just use it strategically for the categories where you struggle with overspending. Tip number 8, plan for non-monthly expenses. Here's what destroys most budgets: forgetting about expenses that don't happen every month. Car insurance paid every 6 months. Annual Amazon Prime membership. Quarterly pest control. Birthday and holiday gifts. These expenses are predictable, but because they don't happen monthly, people treat them like surprises. Stop treating predictable expenses like emergencies. Instead, add them to your monthly budget. Here's how I'll list every non-monthly expense you have throughout the year with its cost. Add them all up. Let's say it totals $3,600 annually. Divide by 12. That's $300 per month. Create a budget category called Annual Expenses and put $300 into a separate savings account every month. When your car insurance bill comes due, the money is already there waiting. When the holidays roll around, you've been saving for gifts all year. No stress, no scrambling, no credit card debt, because you had to put these expenses on a card. This one strategy will make your budgeting so much smoother. Those months where you have extra bills won't feel like disasters anymore, because you've been preparing for them all along. Look, budgeting isn't sexy, it's not exciting, but neither is living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, or feeling stressed about money every single day. These 8 tips, knowing your real numbers, using the 4-account system, paying yourself first, implementing zero-based budgeting, building your buffer, having weekly money dates, using cash strategically, and planning for annual expenses. These are the foundations of financial control. You don't need to implement all 8 at once. Start with 1 or 2 that resonate most with you. Maybe it's tracking your spending this month. Maybe it's setting up automatic savings. Maybe it's scheduling your first weekly money date. Just start somewhere, because taking control of your finances starts with taking the first step. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated with more practical financial advice. Your financial control journey starts today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.